Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another stream. Good morning. All right. There are definitely some things moving today. A lot of earnings plays. Not really many penny stocks moving around today, but we are getting some movement in the large cap market because it's earnings season. We're kind of back into the earnings momentum. Okay. So if you're not already familiar, a lot of times what's going to happen is when we start getting more earnings releases and earnings reports from some of your bigger name companies like McDonald's and obviously just in general earnings season, a lot of times we'll see the penny stocks kind of slow down and take like a couple week break again because we're mainly focusing on the earnings report. So, excuse me. So something pretty common. We're going to start seeing, we might see a little bit of a slowdown in the penny stocks for the next couple days to weeks, just because when companies are reporting earnings, a lot of the market's focusing their attention on those plays and on that, on the reports. So a lot of times the penny stock market isn't really moving during the earnings releases. All right. So anyways, no further ado, let's get into it. I'll start here with AMD. Hopefully it hasn't moved. Starting to a bit. So AMD here, obviously past couple days, you can see it's been running up pretty good, kind of broken out a little bit. Ideally today, if you look at it from a daily chart standpoint, actually, excuse me, let me delete these drawings, and we're going to look at it on a 4-hour time frame. When you look at it on this time frame, you're going to see that it's pretty much getting ready to potentially break out, right? We have resistance, kind of resistance, and we're up, just barely pressing on it. So if we can get over pretty much 32.30, we could see a strong day, a strong move out of this resistance. So we are still at the resistance. We haven't broken out, and even if we do break out, it might be a fake out. But we are right on that edge, and it is worth watching. So we're going to be keeping AMD on a close watch today as we're getting towards that breakout level and see if we do, in fact, break through. But also be mindful because you could get a break up today and then quickly get sold into and it turn into a red day. So that is also something to pay attention to. There's no guarantee on it, but it is right at that level, and it is starting to press up there, okay? Albert, there's really no need to set alerts for earnings reports because you can just figure out when every single stock is going to report earnings anyway. So it's like you don't really need an alert because you'll already know when it's going to happen. All right. Next, I will take a look at Nvidia. Nvidia is very similar to AMD, where Nvidia is just tapping the high, or it's just touching its previous high top. So this is also close to a breakout. Granted, it's right at the resistance. So I do believe that it has potential to break out, but I also feel that we'll probably see it break out either tomorrow or the following day. So it's worth watching today for a breakout, but if it doesn't happen, keep it on watch for the next couple days and see if it holds up near these highs, because if it pulls back and just kind of consolidates right around that breakout level, then chances are the following day or next day it's going to end up breaking out. So we are getting right up to that resistance. This is something to watch for a breakout today, tomorrow, next couple days. Okay. Yeah, Albert. So if when you're saying showing signs of going up, it's hard to say. If you're referring to the actual earnings report, the earnings report's going to happen in about 2 seconds, and the stock's going to spike faster than you can even imagine. So if you're actually referring to trying to catch an earnings report move with an alert through Thinkorswim when they release the earnings report to catch the big jump, it's probably not going to happen. Yeah, so you'd have to give me more detail on what it's exactly trying to do, but pretty much if it's trying to catch a move of the earnings report with an alert through Thinkorswim, it won't work. I can pretty much assure you that, unless it's something else that I'm not thinking of, or that you're thinking of that I'm not thinking of. All right, and then last one we'll touch on is Apple. Well, for my list here, that is. So Apple, I'm actually still long on from yesterday with 50 shares. Got made about $40 on it today, almost $30. So not bad. So open P&L there's $60, almost 70. Anyways, and I'm also going to do a video on this today, I believe. Yeah. Anyway, so if you look at Apple, it's obviously into a new all-time high. We just kind of did like a little new move breaking out. So we had a strong day yesterday. Yesterday was, I believe, the breakout day. Let me double check. Yeah, yesterday was really the breakout day. So a lot of times the second day you'll get a little bit of follow through. So that's why I held these shares, because we're starting to get a little bit of follow through, and maybe we'll get a bigger move today up and out of the when the market opens. See another continuation move, and that's where I'd kind of look to sell some of these 50 shares. But nonetheless, just kind of following Apple for continuation off of yesterday's breakout move into an all-time high. So those are really the three stocks I'm watching: AMD, Apple, and Nvidia. I'm also beginning to keep an eye on Netflix, and there's a few other earnings reports that I'll watch, but I don't know if I'll be trading them or trying to actively trade them. Okay. You know, I forgot to look at Boeing today. That's probably a pretty good one to watch. I'm glad you said that, because I totally forgot about it. Yeah, Boeing could be on a short squeeze day. It's very possible you see Boeing have a short squeeze day. I like that outlook. EROS, I'll take a quick look, but I'm gonna probably go with, I think it's a penny stock. Yeah, EROS, I wouldn't trade it. Doesn't look, nothing's there that really. Yeah. I mean, it had a nice trend. Now it's kind of breaking that trend. So probably kind of on a downside move with EROS. What do I use for the exact time? Well, Thinkorswim tells you exactly when the company is going to have earnings. You'll see it. Like if I look at what BIIB reported earnings today. See right there. See those? That's how you know when the earnings are coming, those little things on the chart. So whatever company it is you're paying attention to, just look for the little blue and red and circles, and you'll know exactly when the earnings report's coming. Somebody asked me to take a look at something else. Roku. Yeah, we'll take a look at Roku and stamps. So yeah, Roku. I wouldn't really bother with Roku for right now. Gotten a couple questions about this over the past day, but wouldn't really mess with it, because Roku is it's not really in the boom and bust phase of its move yet. So it's really just in consolidation, and when it's in consolidation, it'll be usually a little bit more challenging to trade. You're not going to get as fluent movements. So I believe that we're seeing Roku in its kind of consolidation phase, where it's pretty much just going to trade in between yesterday's high and yesterday's low until it either breaks out or breaks down from that, and then you might have a move. But for now, it's probably just going to be in consolidation, which is going to make it more of a pain to trade than anything. So stamps, stamps was up this morning. I don't think it was an earnings report, but I think it was news or something. Yeah, so. Yeah, stamps up today on something. Well, it started yesterday. UPS expanding drone deliveries and new partnership with CVS, something. So yeah, that's some pretty good news. But again, it's just short-term news. It's not like there's no way to prove that the drone business will make stamps any more money. There's no guarantee that it will. So really, it's still something new that has yet to truly be tested in the field. So it's just some cool news. And so yeah, it's pushing up today, but I mean, I myself, I'm not going to trade it. And what is it up to? 91. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of just sitting in resistance, kind of like this level here. Like that's pretty much where we're at, getting into this resistance level. If it starts to get over like 100 into that gap fill, that's where I'd be a little bit more interested. Patrick, there's really nothing to go over with BA. Yeah, I mean, if earnings is tomorrow, then you'll figure out what it does tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, doing anything on it today is pretty much pointless, because tomorrow, when it reports earnings, it could just blow everything up and out of the water. So, yeah, there's really not much to say with Boeing. It'll report earnings. What time tomorrow? Is it after hours? Yeah, maybe after hours. But yeah, you'll just watch it tomorrow. That's what I always tell people. Don't try and trade in earnings before an earnings. Just watch it tomorrow when they report their earnings, or trade it the following day. Shopify, actually kind of more on the short side. I was actually talking with one of my team admins, Brandon, this morning. He's been short Shopify for like the past week already, I think, or something. But we're both kind of watching Shopify short pretty soon. We think a big move short might be coming, or a big day to the downside will be coming pretty soon on Shopify. Yeah, ETON is something to potentially, it's something to maybe pay. I don't think I'm going to trade it today or even try to. I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, yeah, it popped up. It's just kind of hanging sideways in consolidation. It's really rolling down. Doesn't really have any true good formation that I like. So for me, I'm just going to kind of pass on it. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't think it's going to perform that well. If it does, that's great. I mean, it's still really in a gap and go setup, so to speak, but it is rolling down. So the simple go-to long play is pretty much going to be a break over this consolidation, with your first target being 773, with the hopes that it actually goes higher than 773. But for me, I don't actually think I'll trade it unless it truly becomes a good stock. So right now, this is kind of on the sidelines for me. VRTX was a stock yesterday, late day, that started popping up because of some type of news. Got halted. Is it still halted? I don't even know. Could be. I don't think it is. What do I think of this? Not much. I mean, it's just a strong move up. It is starting to get over some resistance. You're going to have your earnings report coming up pretty soon. But that's just it. I mean, it was a strong move. Yeah, maybe some good news, but the move already happened. So you're pretty much just going to go right back into regular trading means, because the big move was yesterday. So maybe look for some follow through to the long side today, but I'm not going to focus on it. The big move happened yesterday, and that's really what you wanted. If anything, you could argue that it's kind of in a bullish pennant in the early stages. But yeah, worth watching, for some, but I can't get behind it. Does the bid and ask price point tell you which way the price is going? No, it does not. Nope. Bid and ask just tells you how many people are bidding on a stock, or how many people are asking to sell their shares, and what the spread is. McDonald's, yes, McDonald's reported earnings, got hit to the downside. McDonald's is a strong, reliable company. It is relatively on a downtrend for like the past 2 months or something. Kind of been downtrending. Where are we at currently? We're down to 201. Yeah, I would follow probably like the 200 area for right now as a potential bounce level for a long play. Yep. And it's a big drop for Apple too off an earnings report. I mean, to drop like almost $10 a share, it's a pretty decent move to the downside for Apple. But for me, it's always hard to try and bet against, McDonald's, excuse me. It's always hard for me to bet against McDonald's, just knowing how big of a company and how many stores they have and so on. But I'd probably follow around the 200 for a short-term bounce play on McDonald's. NLST. NLST, pretty much it has volume, but not really. Yeah, pretty much no volume. Yeah, I wouldn't focus on this for trading. Doesn't really see any volume. It's a very illiquid stock right now. So yeah, I would probably just stay away from NLST. DPZ looking to break out. Is that Domino's? Is that what that is, right? Yeah, so you could argue that Domino's may try to break out here, and it could. Only situation with this is if it does break out, you're going to pop right into more resistance. So it's really a breakout into more resistance, which I usually avoid myself because it's really just breaking out of short-term resistance into longer-term resistance. So yeah, I could see where you're going with that potential breakout, but I myself would pass on it just because it's not an A1 setup. Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble is one to watch. They had an earnings report. They pushed up this morning. They're right up towards the 52-week high. It's still the first attempt at the 52-week high. Granted, it could break out of the 52-week high because it's off an earnings report. But again, it's really not the most A1 setup because it's just a long move right into resistance. So kind of on standby with that. API, you're only looking for stuff going up. So yeah, stuff to potentially watch going up today would be AMD, Nvidia, maybe today, tomorrow, or the following day. What was the other one? Apple. Could watch Apple. What was another one? Those are really the three that I like, of course. Not every day you're going to find the greatest setup to trade, so you do have to keep that in mind, especially as a beginner. As you're kind of going through this process, you're going to learn. You want to learn to be able to throw things to the side, take a look at them, just throw them to the side, and then figure out which is going to have somewhat potential, but not every single day are things going to go up. Are they going to go up good? Are you going to get the biggest runner? Are you going to get the best trader? It's just not going to happen. So learn to kind of get to trade the downside too as soon as you can. But for me today, it'll be AMD, Apple, and Nvidia, also Netflix that I'll probably be watching to the upside. Staple Store. I mean, I couldn't put you through the whole thing right now, but ideally, you're from Nigeria. Glad to have you. Thanks for tuning in. Pretty much your main goal is going to find a company or a brokerage company to open an account with that is going to process your transactions for buying or purchasing stock. You'll fund that account, learn how to read charts, get a good feel for the market, and then you click buy and sell. That is pretty much the simple term of doing it. But first things you need to do is find a reliable broker that you can deposit money with to buy and sell stocks. Ashraf Ali, really, there's not really pretty much any penny stocks to watch for today. Potentially WWR could have a dead cat bounce short squeeze day, but that's pretty optimistic. But on that, pretty much no penny stocks to watch today, and that's partially due to the fact that we're in the earnings report season right now too. TROV up 50%. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Sub penny stock, or at least was. Actually, this has potential. So this one does have some potential. I'll get behind this. So far, chart formation is not bad. Chart formation is good. This, based on the way it's trading, this would actually not surprise me if it pops pre-market. I won't trade it pre-market, but yeah, this is a decent move actually. This is not bad. I would get behind this one. Depends what's the news. Yeah, pretty much some pump news. Tight. Yeah, I'm actually I'll probably stay away from trading this. It's decent though. It's not terrible. This I'd watch over ETON or that other one. Yeah. Snapchat? Yeah, a lot of people asked about Snap the other day, it seems like. So yeah, Snapchat is Yeah, bounce off the 200 moving average. A pre-market. Yeah, it's just bouncing. I mean, you kind of miss. You're kind of yeah. I'd follow it long bias today, but you're kind of a little bit late to the move. But yeah, I'd follow long bias right now today. They do report earnings tomorrow, so every once in a while, the day before a stock reports earnings, or like the day of, it usually can trade a little awkward or a little bit weird, and so just keep that in mind. But I'd be more long bias on Snapchat right now rather than short bias because you're coming off a pretty strong bounce. You just kind of define pump news by just like random bullshit news that you'll be able to pick up after you do it for enough time. So yeah, I generally don't. Yeah, so I don't set stop losses when I get into like a trade immediately, right? So like if I buy something, I'm not going to just go and shuffle and put a hard stop loss like right next to my order. That's just stupid. I don't do percentage stop loss either. I don't. So pretty much when I know that my trade is incorrect or I don't feel comfortable holding my trade, then I take my trade off. So pretty much as soon as I have decided that I'm wrong about my decision, I'll take my trade off, which is what you should do. Right? So for example, let's say I put a stop loss at a 2% loss and I get into the trade. And right now I'm down 1%, but I can already tell that I'm wrong and I'm probably not going to win. And it's going to hit my 2% stop loss. Should I just let it hit my 2% stop loss, or should I take it off at 1%? Probably take it off at 1%. So again, I go by the means of knowing when you realize you're wrong, or you've come to the conclusion that you're wrong about your trade decision, it's best to take it off then rather than wait and hold or try to. So yeah, that's basically how I do things. Liking the zero commission, it's great. Yeah, so I know soft stop, nothing like that. How do you get better at determining if you're wrong faster? Practice and experience, just like anything. All right, guys, it's about 9, so I'm going to get ready to hop on over to our private group. Tomorrow, I should have some coupon codes out for our trading room, so you guys can feel free to use those. I'll send them out tomorrow in our live stream tomorrow morning here on the show, on the channel. But other than that, guys, everybody take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.